Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about my top mini eyeshadow palettes in my collection, which I absolutely cherish and adore. So if you guys want to see which are my top mini palettes, then please keep on watching. Okay, let me give you a disclaimer. None of them are like quads or anything. The minimum size of the eyeshadow palette that you'll find from me is like 5-pan eyeshadow palette. I am going from 5-pan to 9-pan in like mini eyeshadow palettes, again from my collection. I have very less like quads in my collection, and I don't feel that is apt for this video because that's not like my favorite, and I wanted to talk about my favorite. Okay, so let's begin. The first brand that I want to recommend is Ladybug, and I have two palettes with me, Murky Waters palette and Everyday Sparkles palette. This I use it all the time because it's more everyday. These are the tones that I absolutely love. You have like mattes on the bottom row and special shades on the top row. It's all shifty multi-chrome shades, mainly like pink, purple, green, and then you have neutral tones for like everyday look. Like I use this in my office days all the time, so I really love. My two favorite shades from this palette are these two multi-chromes. Very unique, very special, especially when you apply it on your eyes. It feels so very good. But now, if you are more of a colorful person and if you love greens and blues, because I know a lot of you are too much into greens, this palette is so adorable. Again, this has 4 matte shadows on the bottom row and 4 shifty, very special shades on the top row. It's so beautiful, so stunning. I have reviews on all these palettes on my channel. I also have a code with Ladybugo. It's just Smithy Sony to save you 10% off. So if you want to try anything from Ladybugo, their quality is absolutely amazing, and I would recommend it like 10 times to you guys. Okay, the next brand that I have to talk about is Wicked Widow Beauty, and this is their Tea Time palette. Again, a 8-pan eyeshadow palette, but this gives so much of variety, especially if you are like a colorful person. This is such a springtime palette for me, and I think that is when this was released. I love this shade all across my eyelid. I basically use this palette as a companion palette. Again, I do have a code with Wicked Widow Beauty too. It is Smithy Sony. But the quality is what I'm talking about. It is so special. Like these shift so beautifully. Like you can see teal, right? It shifts to a purple to a blue. It's stunning. Obviously, I cannot show you right now on my fingers. So let me show you like this. Can you see that? It shifts so beautifully. Let me show you the Ladybug Glow shadow too, because these are all stunning quality eyeshadow that I definitely wanted to mention to you guys. This is from Murky Waters. Look at that. And then I'll do one from Everyday Glow palette too. I love this shade. Look how beautiful and shifty and shiny it is. Look at that. Look at my fingers. I love these. Love these shadows. Okay, the Wicked Widow Beauty palette. Of course, this has 4 matte shades and 4 shimmer shades, but you can do so much of like variety of looks from this palette. You can definitely go in duos and use this palette, but also mismatch. Create like a very simple eye look. This matte white shade, it's not matte at all. It's like a shimmery white shade, but this can be mixed with any of the shimmers and it can lighten the look. It's such a beautiful, like a brightening shade. I really love that shade too. But yes, of course, if you ask me 2 shades that are my absolute favorite are this shade and this shade. I love it, absolutely love it. I actually am using one of the palettes on my eyes today. I'll get to it when I get to that palette. Okay, this is an oldie in my collection, but I use it so very much. Again, I don't know if it's available or not. It's from McGrath. This is the first palette that I tried from McGrath. This is full of neutral shadows. But man, oh man, these shimmers are stunning. All of them are shimmer, like 5 quint eyeshadow palette. But you should see the shine that this gives. Again, it's not shifty or anything, but the shininess like just blew me away. It's so soft, it's so dimensional. It's really pretty, especially on the eyes. It looks so lovely. Definitely had to talk about it. If you have not tried Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes, you should try from their smaller pan eyeshadow palette, and then you'll know the hype about it. But the bigger pan eyeshadow palettes, like the mothership palettes, they will knock your socks off for sure. Okay, let's talk about Nabla Cosmetics, because they have their cutie palettes, and these are the two that I want to recommend to you. This is the Wild Berry and this is Platinum. Let's start with Platinum. I've spoken about this palette a lot of times on my channel. It's a neutral cool tone color story. It also has like one warm tone shade, but this is so much a shift, dimension, not shift as per like, it has a lot of dimension and sparkle in this palette, but it also complements with this 2 matte shade, which is so apt in this palette. Like, it can go deep, but this can also act like a crease shade if you blend it out in the eyes. But if you want like a maroony magenta palette, this Wild Berry palette, oh my god, this is where it is. It's so pretty. This shifts in so many directions, and these mattes are stunning, absolutely stunning. This can be used like a one and done everyday eye look too. I love Nabla eyeshadows. Let me show you the mattes, okay? I love Nabla mattes. It's so smooth. It's very comparable to the Natasha Denona mattes, but also very punchy. It's beautiful. I love it. I definitely need to use this fall for sure. Like, can you imagine a look with this and this? Stunning. Okay, now let's talk about one of my favorite indie eyeshadow brands, and that's Drizzle Cosmetics. I have the Trick or Treat palette and Summer Because Mahita palette. Both of them are stunning. This is the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes today. I have Dinosaur Egg on the inner like crease. I have this on the outer corners. I have this shade, which is Raptor Candy, all across my eyelid, and that's what I have on my eyes. Like, this is such a beautiful color story, especially for fall season. I love this baby so very much. I don't know if you can find this or not, but again, these shades, the quality of the eyeshadow is what I'm talking about, and Drizzle really does it the best, and I absolutely love this brand. I do have a code with Drizzle. It's Smithy Sony. You can save 10% off when you use my code, and this is their most recent palette. This is Summer Because Mahita, and this is a green pan eyeshadow palette, which includes 2 of the multi-chromes too. Can you see that? It's so pretty, you guys, so pretty. If you are into greens, this is really an amazing palette for you to try, because it has all the greens that you need. 3 mattes and all of the other shimmers that are included in this palette is all spectacular. It is all dimensional. It's beautiful. Like, I think I did like 5 looks using this palette on my channel. I'll link it in the icons above. Okay, the next brand that I have to talk about is Natasha Denona. I love these 2 mini eyeshadow palettes from them. One is the Coral palette. This is not like a mini eyeshadow palette, but it is a 5-pan eyeshadow palette. I use this a lot, like a lot. I'm actually using this shade on my outer crease too, and this on my inner corners. Again, such beautiful quality eyeshadow palettes. Like, I love Natasha Denona quality, you know it. I have several of her eyeshadow palettes, but these 2 are the most favorite mini eyeshadow palette. I dug my finger into the most special shadow. This is the Love palette. This shade is amazing, like absolutely amazing. Since I dug my finger into it, I'll show you in a swatch how it looks like. Like, look at that. It's peach in some angle, it is pink in some angle. It's a very beautiful duochrome. Like, I really love that shadow. It's beautiful. That I really love that eyeshadow palette, this mini, just because it goes from very light to very dark, and it can go purpley, it can go pinky, it can do every day. It's beautiful. Okay, now the last eyeshadow palette that I want to talk about, actually the last brand that I want to talk about, it's Belle Cosmetics, and they actually started my love affair with the indie brand eyeshadow palette, and I have almost everything that they have released so far, and I love everything that they have released. My love started with Break the Rules palette. This is their first eyeshadow palette that they released, and When I applied this baby on my eyes, I was like, what? How can a eyeshadow be so special, so reflective? You can see pans going on. That's how much I love this eyeshadow palette. Like, I have pans on several of its Cosmetics eyeshadows, and that's because it's so shifty, it's so reflective, but it is thin at the same time. It doesn't look overwhelming, but this palette can definitely give you so much of variety too. I feel like my favorite eyeshadow palette from them is the Flare Collection Remixed palette. You know how much I love my purples, and I am afraid of greens, but these blues and greens and purples, look at the shift, look at the shift, and look at the pan. This is my favorite shade, clearly. I love this so very much. I use this citrine shade in my office so very much. It has like a green shift, but it is predominantly more like a coppery pink shade. Really, really pretty. This Morganite shade is amazing too. I love this palette. Absolutely love this palette. If you have not tried its Cosmetics shadows before, you definitely need to. They also have an all matte palette. If you are overwhelmed with the big rainbow palettes in your collection, this is a very nice palette to have in your collection. This is their Fruity Realm palette. This is an all matte palette, very unusual for them. But look at the shadows. It's so punchy, so dimension. I really love the punch that this gives. It's really pretty. Let me actually swatch a few shadows from the It's Belle palette. Definitely I need to do Larimar because I love that, and Citrine, because these are my top two favorites. Now they're thin eyeshadows, but on the eyes it looks wet and so dimensional. I love It's Belle shadows. And this will amp up so much more if you apply like a glitter glue underneath it or spray your brush. It'll be so amazing. Again, I do have reviews on all of these eyeshadow palettes on my channel. If you've not seen, just give it a search and you'll definitely find it. I really hope that this video was entertaining for you guys. I definitely wanted to talk about my mini eyeshadow palettes because I wanted to give them some love. And I love the way how this eye look turned out using just like 3 eyeshadows. I loved it, absolutely loved it. So yes, you guys need to let me know in the comment section below which is your mini favorite eyeshadow palette in your collection. And if I have not tried them, I'd definitely give it a try. But that's all for today, guys. If you did like this video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.